So I was speaking with Marianne and a couple of them, and or MJ, and you guys are only some of you guys are signed to a label, right? Are you signed to a label? Or are you still independent?
I'm still independent.
Which is the
Hmm.
craziest thing ever. And that so I part of what I want to do is like on this channel and some of these conversations is inspire artists like it's actually possible to do to make some money in the industry and make a living and it's possible and you don't have to
Yes.
sell out. And I was actually talking to identify or identity. Okay,
Identify.
identify. So I was talking to Ty and Sydney, and that was a super interesting conversation because we were trying to define when is it appropriate to get a management or not, like because I see so many artists think that they need all this stuff right away and then they kind of just get,
Right.
it bites them in the butt because they're not ready for it, and or it's not even beneficial, they just think that they need it. So I
Right.
find it so inspiring where like you guys are doing amazing things and not all of you guys are signed to a label, and it's really really fascinating. So do you have a whole team with you, or like do you do a lot on your own? Like what does that look like?
I do have a team with me, and that team has shifted and changed a lot based on basically what you were saying. Like some things I realized I didn't need. Like right
Mm,
now, I don't have management. I did have management for a while, but I didn't really need them at the time. And so what I realized I really needed was an admin. I needed somebody to help me organize and get my stuff together. So yeah, I think for new and up and coming artists, I think you have to really assess what you need and don't just go based on what you think or what you're told is normal.
mm,
I think you really have to assess your needs, look at what you need, and comply with that. The other thing is, I'm trying to be careful and mindful about how like who I surround myself with and the type of people. So to me, like the person, their personality, their vibe, like how we get together, are they really saved? Because when you have people in your business and they have to match your heart.
sure.
So you might not mind if they're really saved, if you're not really saved. So that's fine. And what is really saved? Anyway, but like you might not mind. I think people have to match your heart. They have to match your vision. They have to see greater for you than you see for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, that's a
And
great
they have
point.
to know how to tell you about yourself,
That's a great
and
point.
be like, no,
But
you're gonna do this, and then also, give you grace and be like, okay, fine, I see this. Okay, let's go with what you
yeah,
what you
and
said.
that kind of goes back to our humility conversation. Like you have to be humble enough to be willing to accept this advice from people and stuff like that, which can sometimes be hard. And sometimes when they're pushing you, you have
It
to be like,
is.
okay, this person, they're only looking out for our best. You know what I mean?
Yes, I tell my team all the time, I'm like, you guys have to just expect that I'm going to push back at what you say. But that doesn't mean I'm not agreeing with you. That's how I'm built,
Sure.
right? That's how I'm programmed. They say something, they're like, Nay, you need to do this. And I'm like, why do I need to do it? I can give them 15 reasons and then come back and be like, okay, so when are we
Yeah.
doing it? That's just the way that I am. And I think when you build a team around you, you have to be willing to go through the
Sure.
process to to deal with those types of things, get to know each other personality wise, and really meet the goals. Like we all have a goal,
Mm,
and I think honestly, teams are like the real MVPs of every
sure.
artist that you see. Like it's the people behind and beside and under that are supporting, that are
How did you find your
doing this
team?
work. Honestly, okay, so I have a three-person team right now. Them are from my church. So it's just like based on connection and working together in church and in ministry. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. You care about me. Um, can you help? And then the last person, she's a spiritual daughter of mine, and we worked together at a church before. So honestly, it was just relationships and meeting folks and being like, man, you're amazing, and seeing that they were invested in what I was doing and
Sure.
wanted me to win. You
Do they
know,
tour with you, or do they kind of stay at home, and how does that work?
they stay at home. One person runs with me more often than not, but generally they stay at home. If I do anything with math, I don't really need anybody to travel with me. But if I'm doing things alone, then I'll have somebody travel. Sometimes my MD will travel, and I didn't even talk about like creative team. That's just like business admin team, there's 3 people, but then like creative team, I have a few people on there too, and my MD will travel with me a lot, and so
MD
I don't have
is
to be alone. My musical
okay.
director,
Okay, thank you.
so he gives all the information to bands and whoever else is like at the venue that I'm gonna be ministering at, and yeah, so it kind of takes away all the pressure. I don't have to direct the band and tell them I want this, I want, even though I probably, knowing me, I probably will say something because that's my personality, but I can really like direct a lot of that to Adele, and that's his name, and kind of like just be free and be stress free. Everybody's always like, how do you do all the things you do? I have help. Like that,
Sure.
you need help.